Thanks for joining us today. My name is Sandeep Patel, and I'm a senior biz dev rep here at ISOS Technology. And I have our senior solution engineer, Nick Nader, along with us to talk about OpsGenie. So as more organizations really start moving to the DevOps space and really adopting DevOps, I think, there's a lot of effort that goes into managing alerts. There's a lot of noise coming from all different sides as organizations build this up, and they really struggle with kind of capturing the right alerts and making sure that they're responding and having the proper response to a lot of these alerts and not just responding the same way across the board with every alert that's coming into them. And that's where OpsGenie really can come into play. I think, there's a lot of functionality that it provides, but beyond just the alert management. So Nick, what are some other areas that you see DevOps teams really struggling with nowadays?
Yeah, definitely. So DevOps teams, really struggle to consume all that information. Like you said, they have very siloed monitoring systems that are all, consuming their own information from all the systems that they're monitoring, spitting out their own metrics and reports, and they'd have to go into that tool to really see that information. So they really want to be able to aggregate all that information and then condition and filter that information so that they're only getting the high level information and the pertinent and priority information from all those systems. We also see them struggling with where they get those notifications about those systems, right? So maybe they want them on their phone via SMS and text message. Maybe they want to be called when a major incident is happening within one of those systems. And then determining who gets notified, right? And being able to create a complex on-call schedule and having rotations between all of those response teams and response agents. And then pulling in, stakeholders want to be able to see that information as well, but they don't want to be called or messaged about every single little alert that's happening or every single incident. So stakeholders kind of struggle to get those notifications and filter those notifications further so that they're only seeing the highest level and the highest priority incidents and alerts that are coming in.
So as organizations really try to manage these alerts, OpsGenie has really come into play. And I think that was part of, the acquisition that Atlassian made back in fall of 2019. But as they've kind of incorporated that, I think there's a lot of things that we're still trying to consider. So Nick, is OpsGenie really a part of JSM natively now?
Yeah, absolutely. So OpsGenie used to be a standalone cloud instance. You can still purchase it standalone, so you don't need to purchase Jira Service Management to acquire it, but they also kind of integrate it with those different JSM tiers. So if you purchase it at the standard level, you're going to get some of that functionality. You'll still have incident management. You'll still have a service registry. But once you get to that premium tier, it basically unlocks unlimited capacity for all of those different items, like major incident escalation, like those post-mortem reports, and that incident investigation. So it's a feature toggle that will toggle more features on at that premium tier and be able to tackle more of those DevOps teams and response teams issues. OpsGenie is always being improved on by Atlassian and the OpsGenie team at Atlassian. They came with over 200 native integrations. They already have 250 plus now. And I think one of the best parts of OpsGenie is that they have all these native integrations that are extremely easy to connect to the tool and to set up the configuration of. One of the coolest things that I think that OpsGenie did originally was they put their documentation in line in the tool, so you can see exactly what those steps are, exactly what webhooks you need to pull in, exactly what that API key is to set up all those integrations, and it's very easy to connect all those monitoring tools to OpsGenie. Now, there are differences between OpsGenie with JSM and OpsGenie standalone, so definitely check out the JSM website and see those features and see when they toggle on at those different tiers so that you can evaluate whether you need premium and all that incident management functionality. Now, some of the other cool things is it pulls in that DevOps side of the house so that you can connect things like your services and those teams supporting those services directly to source code repositories like Atlassian's Bitbucket or like other ones like GitLab. They're building out more of that integration. They're making sure that you can dig into the commits and the deployments within that source code repository and see what might be that root cause of those incidents coming into OpsGenie. You can also configure things like routing rules, escalation policies, and on-call schedules for each of those response teams within OpsGenie, really consolidating and filtering those alerts to make sure only the specific people that need to be alerted are being alerted, and then stakeholders can get alerted of major and escalated incidents that are of the highest priority.
No, that was great information, Nick. Thanks. And I think that really helps us kind of understand where OpsGenie excels. But kind of flipping that back, how are we helping DevOps teams here at ISOS Technology really solution for OpsGenie and really get the most out of it along with JSM or Jira Service Management?
Absolutely. So, it can be part of ISOS Technology's implementation of Jira Service Management. If you want it to be a part of JSM, it now is, of course, natively integrated into it. We see a lot of teams, especially around incident management, making that part of their incident management workflow. And it pulls in a lot of different aspects of incident management, like that incident investigation, like those postmortems that we can then push over to our Confluence pages and document all of that incident resolution. But ISOS Technology will always come in and be able to configure that incident workflow to go from your customers entering that incident report from their JSM portal through your JSM project, having it escalated as part of that workflow, and then pushing it over into that OpsGenie instance and allowing those response teams to then resolve that incident, and maybe even pulling in those DevOps teams to investigate the root cause of those incidents. And then full cycle is when we would do that post-mortem, push it out into Confluence, and also maybe connect in something like status page, where OpsGenie is feeding that incident status and the resolution into your status page that communicates it back out to your customers. That way, they're always aware of where that OpsGenie response team is at during the incident resolution, and they know exactly what the status of that incident for the system that they're trying to use is.
Thanks for joining Nick and I as we talked about OpsGenie today. If you want some more information, just check out our website at isostech.com.